Go growing my stock portfolio to $1 million. So in the morning, the position was up 6.82%. And then when the market closed, basically the position went down from being up to being up to 4.43%. So a little, downside, from being up in the morning, but nonetheless, the two positions that I'm currently in is a Bitcoin 2 times ETF and a Netflix 2 times ETF. So let's look at Netflix, right? So Netflix. Basically, let's start off with the daily chart. So yesterday we did take Netflix did flush to the downside. And basically, we tried our best to not lose control of that 9-day moving average support. We actually bounced off of it. And then today, the momentum carried to the upside. Today, we were up 2.30%. So basically, yesterday, I mentioned on the 4-hour time chart that if you look close, right, Netflix tends to use lately. Netflix has been using the 50-day moving average as support, and usually when it bounces off the 50-day moving average, it bounces off of it. So you can see that today is a prime example. Right here, this candle on the 1330 candle of today. Where else? Right here on August 12th. Where else? Here on August 7th. And then here on August 6th. And let's see, here on July 31st. And you get the point, right? I basically mentioned that, if we were to see a little bit more downside, today, right? I expected for Netflix to, drop to the 50-day moving average and bounce off of it. I feel like the trend is still bullish. I personally don't think that Netflix is bearish anymore, personally, because number one, the 9-day moving average crossed above the 50-day moving average. That was a big point for Netflix to be bullish. And number two is that the price has been consistently been above the 9-day moving average. And previously, the resistance level that we were having trouble with the most was the 75 resistance level. I personally say that was the most struggling part for Netflix to do, but eventually we broke out of that stubborn 75 resistance level. Now, personally, I feel like I want to say by the end of this month, if it's possible, but it could be by next month. We'll have to see. I feel like for Netflix, I feel like it's going to start approaching the 180 and 200-day moving average soon. I feel like by the end of this month or by maybe in the middle of September, we'll have to see what happens, right? So we'll have to see if Netflix can break the 180-day moving average, and then if it can break the 200-day moving average. So the next thing I want to talk about is the Bitcoin position, right? So let's look at Bitcoin right here real quick. So far, Bitcoin is up 0.50%. I feel like it's still in an uptrend. The reason I say that is because we are once again on the daily chart above these three moving averages, the 9, the 20, and 50. And basically, we are approaching this resistance level of 65,000. So we need to break that level of resistance. Once we break it, we'll see Bitcoin start going up. But on the 4-hour time chart, I mentioned yesterday that basically Bitcoin finished over the 9-day moving average. We started seeing the 9-day moving average curl above the 20, And basically I mentioned that if Bitcoin were to have a little decline in the middle of the day, I would expect for Bitcoin to use the 9-day moving average as support, bounce off of it, and that's basically what happened. But once again, you can see that high at the 8 candle on the 4-hour time chart. The high was 65,000. We're having a little bit of trouble trying to break out that resistance level of 65,000. So we'll have to see if the momentum can carry to the upside for this week. I expect, honestly, I honestly expect for Bitcoin to start breaking out soon, but we'll have to see if the momentum can carry up to the upside, but we'll have to see. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is the the $1,000 paper trading challenge. So, as you all know, we basically started the challenge where we originally left off at. So, we were originally at $1,227 something dollars, and basically we made like $100 something dollars. Today we made $210 trading Tesla call options. So basically I got into Tesla call options at, let's see, performance, stock, let's see. So at 9:33 I got into Tesla call options. So let's look at Tesla. Let's see. Tesla right here. So I basically entered this trade on the, let me explain the thought process, right? So I basically entered this trade on the 4-hour time chart, and basically I analyzed that, okay, basically you can look at Tesla. It's been using the 50-day moving, it used the 50-day moving average as support here on August 12th through August 13th, and then it basically used it here too on August 3rd. So I was like, I'll take my chances. I'll buy, Tesla call options that expire in a month. And I think it they were expiring in a month, but whatever, right? Basically, I got into Tesla call options as soon as Tesla landed on the 50-day moving average. That's when all of a sudden the momentum shifted to the downside, because then Tesla started crashing to the downside. But the good news is when Tesla started reversing, I sold out the position once the position was up 16.60%. So I sold out the position, secured the gain there. I know this position was going to expire till September 11th. Basically, it reached my threshold of, okay, once the position reaches 5 or 10% gain, I get out the position. If I'm down 5 or 10%, I'm out the position, just to keep it simple. So we're doing pretty good. I'll keep you guys updated and see what happens. So that is pretty much it. Peace.